What's going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam back again with another film breakdown. This time we're taking a close look at Isaiah Wynn, his really debut for the season and how he's doing at that left tackle spot, what he brings to the table as far as pass blocking, run blocking goes. Sony Michel had an outstanding game on Sunday, and I really wanted to bring that to light, show where I believe he made very good decisions, where he ran the rock well. And then I did not plan this, but a couple of throws that 12 made on Sunday were fantastic, and I think that I had to put in this video because they caught my eye when breaking this thing down. So with all that being said, guys, I hope that you enjoy this video. If you would like to, it would mean the world to me if you could drop a like, hit that subscribe button. If you have any suggestions for games that you would like to see, for teams that you would like to see broken down, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to respond. I try to interact with you guys as much as possible. But with all that being said, guys, let's dive on into this thing. All right, fellas, first play we're going to be taking a look at from this Patriots game is going to be the first play of the game. We're going to get Ben Watson motioned inside to that H position in a wing alignment almost. And all we're going to get out of New England is a very simple inside zone to the left with a wham. Okay, now when you're running inside zone like this, ideally you work out here onto Robert Quinn with our left tackle. We're comboing this one tech up to this Mike linebacker. There's actually a 2I or a G. And then we're comboing with our right guard and right tackle up to our Will linebacker, who's this cat right here. Will, or it really depends on how they determine the strength of this. It could be the Will or the Mike. But you see what we're creating on this from New England side of the ball is a bunch of double teams, right? We're creating a double team here, we're creating a double team here, working up to those linebackers, and then we're going to wham the end man on the line of scrimmage, right? But that's not how things shake out on this. Really, the mistake on this is from Isaiah Wynn, 76, who's playing left tackle from the Patriots. Now, yes, he does make a mistake on this play, but what I love about it is the fact that he goes 100 miles an hour, right? If you're going to make a mistake on a football play, go full speed. That's the bottom line with stuff like this, and that's at all levels. High school, college, pro. If you make a mistake, go 100 miles an hour and lay somebody out. Now, Isaiah Wynn's not taking anybody's helmet off or, laying anybody out, but he does a really good job locking on with this defensive back and driving him out, and that's really kind of the key of this play. The second guy that I want to highlight on this is Sony Michel, because this is technically a busted play. Right, this is where he's trying to hit this thing. He could try and jam it up here and pick up 4 or 5 yards, but he does a great job taking a look at this outside of the box right here and probably looking at these backers. Right now, you're going to get lost in the wash here if he's going to stare these guys down. Absolutely. But what I love about what he does on this is that he presses the line of scrimmage. And when you press the line of scrimmage like that, it forces linebackers to come up and play the run. When he does that, right, he does a really good job of bouncing this thing outside right here, and now he's one-on-one with 31, and on top of that, he's got the angle to outrun him. Really good job by Sony Michel on this, and Isaiah Wynn obviously doing the wrong thing, but I love the fact that he does 100 miles an hour. Good job all around from New England. We get a punishing double team too on this 3-tech from Marcus Cannon and Shaq Mason. Really good job there. And then on this 1-tech too, getting good movement on him as well. And there definitely is a little bit of a seam for Sony to take that, but he bounces this thing outside, like I said before, and does a really good job picking up yardage when there really wasn't anything going on inside the tackle box. All right, fellas, next play we're taking a look at here. Single back look from New England, 11 personnel. The Cowboys are giving them an under front, right? Really, it's an under G because we have this 2I right here. They motion him back across the formation. You're trying to get angles and you're showing everybody that it's man coverage. Really, that's what you see when you get that motion. Now, what is New England running? Okay, they're really running like a short trap look out of this front, okay? And what's cool about that is that you put the defensive tackle in a bind because he's going to come upfield, this cat right here. He's going to come upfield, no pressure from the offensive line, and he's going to get whammed, okay? Now, ideally, this ball hits right in front of that, or right behind it, I guess I should say, and you crease it right up the middle. But again, this is a testament to Sony Michel's ability to run the football, okay? He comes upfield, presses the heels of the offensive line, and then bounces this thing outside, but why is that possible, right? And it's because of the presence of Isaiah Wynn. So take a look at this. We motion Matt Lacoste across the formation. We're going to wham him, and Isaiah Wynn does a really good job of not overstepping when working out to that defensive end. Okay, and this is a tough thing to do for offensive linemen because you're so set on, okay, this cat's outside of me. I'm going to step upfield, cut him off so he can't get into this inside gap and shut this play down. Isaiah Wynn does a really good job of stepping out to it. See how he kind of hesitates a little bit. He's a little bit slower with his feet. We know that Robert Quinn's going to try and spike this thing inside. We take him on the path we find him and just accelerate the feet and drive him in, right? That's one of the abilities that Isaiah Wynn does bring to this offense, is that he's a solid run blocker. Okay, and then on top of that, right, we bring him inside. Sony Michel is pressing this thing to the heels of the offensive line, and that's going to suck up backers and defensive backs up into the wash on this. Now, when Sony bounces this, right, now he's one-on-one with a defensive back. Okay, like we saw on the play previous to this, he bounced this thing to the outside and picked up a solid like 13 yards. In this situation, he gives him that step outside, puts his outside foot in the ground, and gets upfield and picks up a tough 6 yards. Really good job running the football on this from Sony Michel. Again, back-to-back plays where you can see 26 is starting to gain some confidence, he's starting to gain some momentum, and he's running the football very well. And it's plays like this where they're not going to jump off the screen at you, but this is smart running from this running back, okay? Like I said before, presses this thing, bounces outside. Now we have a one-on-one matchup here. Jacoby Myers is coming down to take out 38, right? We have him. We know he's leaning outside, puts his foot in the ground, steps up, picks up 6 yards. Not a flashy play, not a one that's going to pop off the screen and say this is our guy, but again, really good job from him of making a decision and picking up good yardage on that first down. All right, fellas, we talk about this New England offense and what's their identity when it comes to running the football. They don't have the pieces that they did last year with James Devlin and Rob Gronkowski and David Andrews obviously being injured as well. And in this situation, what they dabbled with a little bit on Sunday night was bringing in a sixth offensive lineman, which is something that they've done before. If we remember back to the Baltimore game, the AFC Divisional Baltimore game in 2014, they did mess around with this a little bit as far as who's eligible, who's ineligible. In this situation, they're just bringing in a heavy personnel, putting Marshall Newhouse on the left side of this offensive line. Brady previously killed this play. They bring it to a run play. And a lot of times when we see heavy personnels like this out of the NFL, it's very simple, right? It's power, it's duo, it's something where you're creating combos and just trying to force the point of attack and get pick up 3-4 yards. What I love about this is that New England false keys the Dallas Cowboys. And what I mean by that is you're showing them pulls one way, running it the other. And it's tricky football because if you do mess up, you end up shorthanded, right? And you end up shorthanded with your back in the backfield, and that's a recipe for disaster. But in this situation, really what the Patriots do is they trap across the board. See how they leave these three guys, right? They're leaving them to get trapped. This ball's going outside of Marcus Cannon, right in between Ben Watson and Marcus Cannon. And there's a couple of guys that I really want to point out on this play who do an extraordinary effort. Number one is Ted Karras, the center, trying to fill in for David Andrews. It's big shoes to fill. But look at the path this kid takes, and look at how good of a job he does, right? Brady IDs the mic is 50. Okay, you can see that pre-snap. Teddy Karras has to work all the way across. I mean, that's 5 or 6 yards he's going to chase down Sean Lee. And then once he gets there, he ends up working to his outside shoulder, again, because of good running from Sony Michel, but he ends up working to his outside shoulder. That is a phenomenal job by him. Okay, so really quickly, what New England's doing up front. We're going to we're going to trap here. Okay, we're going to trap here, and we're going to trap outside. We're basically trapping almost every down lineman in this situation. Okay, and then we're going to run this football right outside of Marcus Cannon in between Ben Watson. Just an outstanding job across the board. Marcus Cannon, hats off to you as well, because this is a tough block to do. Right, he's stepping out, much like the Isaiah Wynn play that we saw previous to this. He steps out. This defensive lineman spikes inside of him. Again, a lot of defenses will do this when you line up in that heavy package just to plug up gaps on the inside. Really good job redirecting. See how he extends his arms and runs his feet? That is key in this situation. If you get into a situation as an offensive lineman where you're off balance and you think he's going to be in the gap, right? Extend your arms, run your feet, try to get him out of the way, create a mosh pit. Really good job by him on that. Sony Michel, just a fantastic job pushing this thing to this inside gap and then hopping outside of that again, pressing the line of scrimmage and then hopping outside of it. You see Ezekiel Elliott do it all the time, right? We're going to press the line of scrimmage. We're going to force those backers to step up into their gaps, and then we're going to hop outside of that and be one-on-one with the defensive back. This is the third time that we've seen it out of Sony Michel, and he picks up a quiet 17 on this one. Really, really cool play from this New England coaching staff, and I think that we're going to see a lot more of this in weeks to come out of New England as they get more and more creative with their running game. But again, just a phenomenal job on this one all the way around from this offense from New England. All right, fellas, the touchdown pass to N'Keal Harry. What I want us to think about when we watch this play is if we think back to the season opener last year against the Texans, a very similar situation in this where Brady threw a touchdown pass to Gronk. It was an end zone fade just like this. Beautiful pass from Brady, back shoulder, almost the same thing, right? Now, yes, it's an outstanding pass. You have to be accurate with it. It has to be on the back shoulder or else that DB is going to take it the other way. But the key to this thing is opening up passing lanes for your quarterback in this situation. Watch the cut block from 76 on this, right? It's not the prettiest block in the world. No, absolutely not. But what it does for your quarterback is it opens up passing lanes, right? And it creates a soft edge and an easy edge for you to make that completion. Okay, there's almost no pressure on Brady's left side of the line, which is obviously where he throws this thing. Now, I don't necessarily think that New England's uncomfortable or that Marshall Newhouse can't do this, but I think that they're much more comfortable with a guy who's quicker and a little bit more athletic like Isaiah Wynn doing this, right? He throws that cut, does a really good job selling his pass set, getting Robert Quinn to stand up, try and throw that move. He doesn't show it at all while he's in his set. He just throws it. Really good job on this, getting the hands down, making that defender's ability to rush the passer almost obsolete. Okay, and you create, look at it, there's nothing in the way for Brady here on this to put this thing on the back shoulder. Really good job from Isaiah Wynn on that play, and I really think that the coaching staff is much more comfortable with a guy like Isaiah Wynn running that as opposed to a guy like Marshall Newhouse, and I do think that this is one of the additions that Isaiah Wynn brings to that offense. It's that athleticism out on the edge, and it's the ability to lock down a defender or throw that cut, get him out of the way, and make it easy pass for your quarterback to convert on. Looking at another example of what Isaiah Wynn brings to the table as a pass blocker. A big completion here from Brady to Edelman, but again, what I really want to look at is this ability to shut down an edge defender like Isaiah Wynn does here. Really good job of kicking out to this guy, but not kicking too far back, right? Or excuse me, kicking too far out. We see a lot of offensive tackles sometimes, and this is all over high school, college, and even in the pros, where they get a situation like this where, yeah, that edge defender is out there, and that's scary, right? You're out on an island and you got to have the mindset of I'm going to lock this thing down no matter what. Okay, but what I love about how Isaiah Wynn kicks out to that is look at how he just kind of slowly chops his way out there, right? And he's sitting on it waiting for that guy to come back inside. When he does a great job of redirecting and just closing him right on into the guard. Really good job here, and this is a situation where I think a guy like Marshall Newhouse might get beat because I think he's a little bit slower with his feet, but you can see Isaiah Wynn is just robotic with his way out there, and I mean that in a good way, right? Chopping his way out there, short choppy steps out, right? Not choppy steps, but a short choppy slide out there, not eating up too much ground, and his feet aren't in the air that long either, and that's one of the keys to this thing, right? A lot of times offensive tackles get caught with their feet in the air when they're moving out, and you can't redirect when only one foot's in the ground. The time of his feet in the air is so small, and he does a great job redirecting that thing. Yes, he is a little bit late on this twist, but still he gets the job done. Again, a shorter clip here, but just an example of what 76 brings to the table, his ability to lock down that edge, and I really think this kid's only going to get better with the more reps he gets. So quality job there from Isaiah Wynn. So I'm flipping through clips here, trying to find a good example for Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel and how this running game's kind of coming to life and what Isaiah Wynn brings to the table as a pass blocker. And this throw comes to mind for me from Brady. And, you know, a lot of guys are talking about, oh, his arm's not where it used to be. And there's no doubt about that. Brady's not the guy that he once was zipping it around the field. But this throw is insane. I mean, I got to stop and throw a little shine on this thing. When I saw this during the game, I didn't notice how far of a ball this was. But we're talking about an opposite hash, 18-yard comeback? 16-yard comeback, something insane like that is a crazy ball. All right, when we start talking about people who think Brady's falling off a cliff and all that stuff, that's not the throw of a quarterback who's falling off a cliff. Okay, we're talking about an opposite hash comeback that he puts, if their DB was trailing him, in the only spot that his guy can catch it. This is an insane ball. Opposite hash, looks off read 1, read 2, then he goes back to read 3 and zips this thing in there. That's not the sign of a QB who's losing a touch, man. That's a quarterback who is slinging the rock. That's a hell of a throw. That really is. I don't really have anything to coach up on this play or anything to break down. This is just an insane throw that I want to add some light to because I don't think people are talking about because it was a drop. But, I mean, damn, man. That's a ball right there. Jesus. All right, fellas, next play we're taking a look at here early in the third quarter. What we're going to get out of New England's very simple. It's just going to be inside zone away from the tight end. Okay, and really what you get with this is you add double teams, right? Because you get a double team with these two cats right here working out. We work out and out with him. But what I want to point out is Isaiah Wynn's ability to track a linebacker. Okay, and Ted Karras is a guy in this game as well who did a very good job tracking linebackers. We're talking about the Cowboys linebackers who are athletic dudes. But in this situation, really good job from Isaiah Wynn working to the inside shoulder of 50 and putting him on skates and bringing him back a little bit farther so we can run this thing right up the gut. But a really good job from Wynn on this. Again, thinking about what the alternative is, and I don't want to throw shade here at Marshall Newhouse. I think he did a decent job in replacement, but this is stuff that I think 76 does a lot better than 72. Really good job working up, bullying that dude around, pushing him out of the way, and creating space. And again, on plays like this, right, when you run it away from the tight end, really what you're looking for is cutback lanes, right? And you can see it here. The computer kind of skipped a little bit, but in situations like this, when you run it away from the tight end, you get a ton of combos, right? And really, the back side of this play is where it opens up, and you can kind of see it right there. And Rex Burkhead is just a tough mutter, man. He's going to go up and get you yards. I think he's a little bit more athletic than just a power runner. But you can see that he just kind of buries his head in. He sees his gap and he goes. Backs who have a little bit more agility and who are able to jump and get, 3 gaps over will make that cut and get upfield, and that's where you see this thing hit big. But a play that I really haven't seen New England run all that much. But again, really, we'll kind of bringing it back to why I may put this clip in here is because of Isaiah Wynn. His ability to move, I think, is obviously better than Marshall Newhouse, and then just getting up to a backer and getting to him. And I got to give a little bit of shine to my guy Shaq Mason here. Does a really good job working off of his combo and working up to 54, right? That defensive tackle spikes in. You see a lot of guards who just bury their heads into this thing and they're thinking that they're working a great combo. Yeah, but you left your back out to dry because this backer's going to pressure. Nope, he comes right off of it, gets to 54's outside shoulder. That's a fantastic job. This Patriots offensive line, I'm telling you, has been played much better in the last game. Okay, they really did, and I think that they're just going to continue to get better as this season goes on, as we get into crunch time, really, for these guys. All right, guys, another play where I'm really showcasing Brady's ability. And again, we hear the narrative of, oh, he's 42, 43. He doesn't really have the ability to zip it in there anymore. He's not as mobile. All that stuff, right? Yes, he is starting to deteriorate a little bit. I think he'd be a fool to say otherwise. But plays like this are why this dude is still an absolute stud, and he still has what the jokingly call the clutch gene. This is a 3rd and 20, right? What we're going to get out of the Patriots really quick to break down this play is we're going to get a really simple curl route from number 2, okay, and that's going to bring this defender up on that play, right? Cover 4 here from Dallas, right? You don't want to get beat deep, let everything happen in front of you, and rally to make a play. Edelman's going to run a dig that he does a really good job, right? He starts that dig at 15 and then stems it upfield for another 5 and ends up catching this ball and turning for a first. Wow, that's a gracious spot on that. But like we said before, right? Brady's ability to escape out of the pocket right there. Tough to do, not easy. Resettle and then hum this thing in there. And I know, watching it, you're like, oh, maybe he threw it a little low. That's why it didn't happen. Edelman definitely got that, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Maybe he threw that low. Maybe it wasn't that great of a ball. Did he have room to work with? No. A big part of, being a good quarterback in the NFL, right, is being able to throw your receivers open. When we see where this ball is, he can't throw that thing up by his shoulder pads. He's going to get smoked by 54 here. He puts this thing low and away. He knows Edelman's going to go down to make that catch. It's right in between that backer that's dropping, the corner that's dropping, and the safety that's dropping. And it's up for a 20-yard gain on 3rd and 20. Massive play. And yes, I am a Patriots fan, and yeah, I think that does come out a little bit in a video like this, but this is an outstanding job by 12. A great ball, even better catch, and the ability to have the awareness to roll for that first down can't be understated. Really good job here from 12, and it's something that as a Patriots fan you definitely get fired up seeing, no doubt about that. But all around outstanding play from New England. All right, guys, that last play is actually going to do it. I don't want this video to be too long. I think that my videos tend to run, 18, 20 plus minutes, and I think I lose some attention with that, so I'll cut it after that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. You know, like I say every time, if you did, please drop a like, hit that subscribe button, helping the channel grow. Really just kind of want to showcase Sony Michel, you know, had an outstanding game against the Cowboys, and I wanted to bring that to light. Also, what you get with Isaiah Wynn, and really, I didn't plan on this, but Brady looking like looking better than he has during this season. I think it kind of flies under the radar, so I definitely wanted to highlight that. But with all that being said, guys, that's all I got for you today. I'm the Hook Cam, and I will see you next time.